While the Americans sweat through their primaries and the people of Zimbabwe have been going to their polls, the folk in a small town in the west of Ireland have been having an election of their very own. From Ballymote, that's the place, Ballymote in County Sligo, Luke Casey reports.
Run him! Lovely. Joe! That's it! No, knock it down, lad!
You can tell from the way they play football that the people of Ballymote don't take defeat lying down. In this local derby with Tubbercurry, the battle's so enjoyable, you feel they'd be just as happy playing it without the ball.
Blind or something.
It was their passion for this most Irish of games that got them involved in the most Irish of elections.
Hey, Ted, come on!
It all started when, in a rush of local pride, they built a football pavilion for £5,000. The only trouble was, they didn't have the money to pay for it. Ballymote's only a small town, with what seems like more pubs per head of population than pound notes. But the county of Sligo, which could inspire a poet of the calibre of W.B. Yeats, is nothing if not inventive. They decided to have an election. A mayor, a prime minister, even a president of Ballymote were all rejected as too tame. It was agreed instead to elect an aristocrat.
Calling everybody, calling all, and sundry, calling all. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay.
The title at stake is 13th Baron of Ballymote and Viscount of Corran. In the devising of the electoral system, the Ballymote Mafia seem to be making the people an offer they can't understand. All that's clear is that it's highly complex and highly bent. Basically, the votes are for sale, and provided you've got the money, you can vote as often as you like.
Hang it upside down.
Don't hang it, I said. Don't
I banish you.
Do I want to do an individual introduction sort of thing, or do I say?
Yeah, we'll just stand individually.
This is the crowd of
Contest candidate.
snowballs, whatever I like to call them.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it.
The campaign's Machiavelli, otherwise known as the Chief Herald, is schoolteacher Neil Farry.
I was talking to some friends, and one of them suggested that we should have a community election. Now, community elections of this type have been going on in Ireland about 4 years now.
Electing what?
Well, they have been electing non-statutory mayors.
So in other words, Ireland at the moment must be absolutely brimming over with non-statutory mayors.
They have statutory mayors.
You can find one everywhere.
Yeah, they have non-statutory mayors, kings, one Taoiseach. So we have one official Taoiseach, Mr. High, and one unofficial Taoiseach in a small community in the country.
And how many kings?
There are innumerable kings, innumerable non-statutory mayors, personalities of the year, and I believe a baron in County Cork.
Ballymote isn't exactly without its bit of bona fide history. The ruins of a Norman castle vouch for that. There have been 12 genuine barons too. They all come from the Taft family, who lived in the castle from 1617 to 1753. For reasons that won't be clear if you're not Irish, they all upped and disappeared to Europe, where they became soldiers to the King of Spain, and generals, ministers, and even prime ministers to the Austrian Emperor. In 1919, the 12th Baron, Henry, now called von Taft by the Austrians, was deprived of his Irish title by the British government, and the position has remained vacant ever since. The would-be barons or baronesses number 7 in all, 5 men and 2 women. Michael Regan, a retired insurance official, would seem to be at a certain disadvantage as he doesn't drink. But to compensate, he has grandiose plans if elected.
Well, tell me, supposing you do get elected, what are you going to do for us?
The first thing that I intend to do is to make this a direct motorway, joining Colony through Ballymote and on to Boyle, where it meets the Sligo-Dublin Road.
Very nice, very nice.
So that's one of my first priorities anyway, James, you see.
And what about what we'll be losing out on our lawn then? Getting a big motorway right through the place?
Well, we mightn't exactly touch on your lawn. We can go a bit on the other side. I think the people on the other side won't mind so much.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think they would, you know.
The youngest contender is 19-year-old Francis McCann, concession to the youth vote, who is reigning All-Ireland under-21 handball champion, is the pride of teenage Ballymote.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Val Connolly, a retired clerk of works with Sligo Corporation, accepted his nomination as a kind of penance, since his idea for the pavilion is largely responsible for the debt. One candidate has consistently resorted to disguise in his campaign. His identity is said to be the best-known secret in Ballymote, only nobody would dare say it to his faces. Suffice it to say, he's so shy, he supports all his opponents.
Can I stop you for a minute? Are you a candidate?
No, I'm not a candidate. I couldn't be a candidate. I'm the town crier.
Well, now, this is
I'm more important than a candidate.
Why do you wear the mask?
I don't wear a mask. That's my natural mask. That's my natural hair. I've been growing that for years, doing all this
That's your
town
own.
crying.
Molly Corley, a housewife, is clearly more comfortable in the kitchen than in the corridors of power, but finds she's roped into all kinds of local affairs through an engaging inability to say no.
well, I'd say that whoever gets the...
Paddy Mullen, whose job in the local post office puts his finger on the pulse of the whole community, is rumoured to have an inspired flair for getting his hands into their pockets as well. And finally, in what for Ballymote passes for Carnaby Street, Gladys Hannon masterminds her campaign from her dress shop, aided and abetted by female accomplices whose quiet charm conceals ruthless political deviousness.
Do you have anything original now to go off in, or?
I have, well, I was thinking of donkey and cart, if I could get it fixed up.
The big rally, after last Mass on Sunday, is a bit like an American primary and Phil the Fluter's ball rolled into one. But underneath all the razzmatazz runs a strong undercurrent of foul play. Indeed, there are dark mutterings about Ballymote becoming the Irish Watergate, with rumours of bugging and phone tapping, as well as some tricks Ehrlichman and co. would have blanched at. But such behaviour is justified on the basis that they're all at it, and naturally that the election promises are reasonable, like home rule for Ballymote and the reintroduction of the death penalty for double parking. The main thing is that justice is seen to be undone, and the High Sheriff, in the shape of retired teacher Tom McGettrick, is determined to look after the pomp, whatever the circumstance.
Thank you. Fellow citizens, on this sun-drenched morning, in the prehistory and history-steeped barony of Corran, we are nearing the end of the election campaign, from Balnagoch to Balnabull, and from Balnacarra to Ballyrush. Support has come for this campaign. Today and during the week, a final appeal goes out. Vote as often as you wish.
With such blatant gerrymandering going on outside the gates of the church, is it any wonder the parish priest's been seen with his eyes raised apologetically heavenwards?
Another pound for Mrs. Hannon. Anybody? 10p even. Come on. But
as one bystander pointed out, once you understand the rules, you realise how fair the election is. It's based, you see, on universal sufferance rather than suffrage. Money talks and colourful phrases in Ballymote, but for the ability to keep a straight face, you've got to take your hat off to them.
It must be very difficult for the candidates to keep their campaigns reasonably secret.
This is remarkable. The candidates have been seen covering a lot of ground, seen canvassing, but it is impossible. And I don't believe that the KGB or the CID could now find out how many votes any particular candidate has in fact sold.
Finally, with the tension in Ballymote threatening to make the Guinness go flat, the great night arrives. The count is held in the community hall, and everybody who is anybody is there, anxious to know the nobody who'll soon be a somebody.
These are tenpences in this one here.
As the counting gets underway, it's clear that only those with a degree in sums will understand what's going on. A complex permutation of the number of votes cast and the money paid for them will decide the winner. But there are some present who seem to have inside information.
How are the odds looking at the moment?
I think Gladys Hannon is even money.
Yes.
And Paddy Mullen 7-4.
Yes.
And the rest down the field.
Who's the outsider? What's the best price I can get?
I suppose if we were generous enough, I might give it 200 to 1, you know. And,
200 to 1. Who would that be?
I wouldn't like to mention at this stage the outsider.
Who would the 200 to 1 be on?
I'd say Regan and my assistant here could tell me.
Regan's 200 to 1?
Regan and McCann, yeah.
Can I have a pound of 200 to 1 on Regan?
Definitely. Give that man a ticket there.
Such is the excitement of the occasion that old rivalries are temporarily forgotten, as with the managers of the Ulster Bank and the Bank of Ireland, sitting side by side, united in what they do best, counting.
Put that in now, they're the other sashes that have to go back to Dublin.
But as the caucuses of interested parties become more huddled and the mutterings become more intense, it's clear that the moment of truth is at hand.
Banks, 4670. Carly, Mrs. 3078. Connolly Val 11795. Hannon, Mrs. 27140. I have great pleasure in naming Mrs. Gladys Hannon as our Baroness for the next 12 months. To all whom these presents shall come, greeting. I ask you now, lady, to come before me, so that I may vest you with the robes of office. The cloak would appear to have been tailored for a bigger person. But I state with conviction that it could not grace the shoulders of a more worthy personage than the one on whose shoulders I am about to place it. Worthy Baroness, please be seated. And now I shall call upon the spirit of the past. With the coronet of continuity, so that I may place it upon the noble brow of the 13th Baroness of Ballymote.
Well, would that all elections were like that. But, you know, let me tell you, as a result of their baronial election, the people of Ballymote raised a staggering £8,260, which will pay off their debt for their football stadium, no doubt, and leave something over for the local charities. John.